Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're looking at a preview of set 43217, The Up House. This was something that I heard was coming out, and I was like, awesome! I'm not sure I can afford it. Turns out it was a lot smaller than I thought. I completely went, I didn't look up any information about it because I wanted to be a complete surprise when I got to building it. So having a $60 set is much more affordable than a $200+ set. And they give you quite a nice little build. They didn't really skimp when it came to the techniques used in this set. The bay window, for example, use a very nice technique when it comes to the slopes and making everything seem rather seamless. Again, you have the peaked roofs, which I always have a terrible time building myself. So I always fall in love with sets that have this style of roof and show me, no, it's easy. Just do it like this. And I'm like, that looks awesome. And I still can't do it. You also got a nice built interior. Now there are going to be quite a few stickers involved in the set because if you recall from the movie, Carl's house had a lot of pictures. So imagine yourself going to be stickering every time you see an empty space and some studs because chances are a picture is going to go up there. There is a new tile in here that I've never seen before right over the fireplace. In here it's a 4x4 tile. So that's neat to see in terms of new and interesting parts. The little builds that you will have to do is the gramophone. That's nice because the horn on the gramophone is used as a, looks like a mining hat with a broad brim, but it has a center stud that you would normally mount like a light to. Well, now you invert that, use that as a connection point so that it can attach to the gramophone. You've got the armchair that's in the bay window area back there. The bed is pretty standard and simple. The TV, also nice, more stickering, of course. And overall, they pack the house pretty nicely. One thing that I immediately questioned when I heard I was going to be able to review this set is like, ooh, do you think I could like display it by hanging it up somewhere? And we laugh thinking, well, no, there's going to be too much details. Turns out you can. They made a vertical strut that comprised the whole fireplace, and up at the top they reinforced this chimney. There's actually 4 brackets around here as well as some extra plates and tiles all the way around, so it's a very secure. So if you tie some like a fish line and put it right underneath here, it's going to be able to hold the entire weight of the house just fine. And it's going to be front heavy, but I think that's going to be a good look for the up house floating if that's how you choose to display it. Of course, people who have seen the pictures look at all these balloons and go, that's not enough. So I can also imagine plenty of people buying multiple copies of this set just to get more balloons. Now you do get a few more balloons. You have a small section for your front yard with a little mailbox. You turn it around, you can see a packed box, like ready to move, a helium tank filling up a balloon, and of course 4 more balloons that are just tied to different parts of the fence. Now as for the characters, I guess you could call, it is important to note that you do get 2 type of animal creatures. You got the weather vane rooster up top, and it's going to be really, really hard to see, but back on the chimney, back in there is a red bird piece. I think it's supposed to be a sculpture that he has. So I only bring that up because one of the characters I set aside was the squirrel that Doug the dog is always looking after. You got Russell, who is prepared for pretty much anything. I'm going to show you his backpack, which is absolutely fantastic. And you got Carl Fredrickson. I absolutely love his little cane. It's a little tap with little skates at the bottom, but it looks absolutely perfect for him and his height. Now he has the same height as Russell. It's just Carl has actual posable legs, so he can have this hunched over look. Russell has the short minifigure legs that don't bend. So something else to keep in mind if you're planning to pose them. And I even bend Carl up a bit. His torso is fantastic. You got his pants painted up onto his torso, so you can see just how high they rise. And one thing they did interesting about his face that my wife pointed out to me is they made it very wide and broad. And what this ends up doing is changing a minifigure face. It's not any bigger or smaller than any other minifigure face, but because of how it's painted, it looks more squat and gives him more the look that he has in the movie, which is an interesting use of just deceiving you by how something's printed. Now the backside, I absolutely love Russell's backpack. He comes loaded to bear. He has a fork, he has a frying pan, he has a cup, he has a bugle, he has binoculars. So whatever he needs, he's ready to go with it. Plus, they also have it mounted to his back, so you can just pull it off, see where it's attached. And there's even a jumper at the bottom so that he doesn't topple backwards when he's standing on his own. But yeah, it's a simple build that just has everything connected onto it. Now, the one thing I love about the way this is done is if you do want some of these accessories, you just pull them off the backpack and they're usable. It's not like the backpack is integrally tied into having this piece have to be connected here because that's how the whole backpack is structured. No, this is a backpack where everything's just mounted on, and so you have lots of play potential. Unfortunately, Doug is a solid piece, so he doesn't have a way to like move his head or legs, kind of like we've seen with Scooby-Doo. So he has very, very limited posability. And otherwise, for $60, I imagine people are not only going to buy this set, they're going to buy multiple copies. So it might be a little tough to find early on. I'm hoping LEGO plans to do multiple print runs because it's going to be easier to build a bigger house with multiple copies because of how bright and vibrant all the colors are in the house. They're not common colors. So just to keep that in mind. Again, for $60, I think this is a steal. Set 43217 Up House.